Woo! Hi there, you're watching Kat Tries to Bake. In honor of Asian American Pacific Islander Month, for the entire month of May, I am going to be baking Asian desserts. Today, our recipe comes from the Philippines. By popular demand, we are going to be making Turon, or Filipino banana lumpia. I got this recipe from Jolina, or the Unlikely Baker, so you can check out that recipe in the description of this video. I can honestly say that I personally have never really tried too much Filipino food, so I'm really excited about this. It's basically, from what I understand, a deep fried plantain, and you can put jackfruit in it as well, but you wrap it in a spring roll and it's sweet and caramelly and amazing. So I'm ready. Just because I want to acknowledge him in all the ways that he's helped me on this channel, Alex is here helping me film. Every time! Okay, let's get started. By the way, if you are following along with this video and comparing it to the recipe, I'm making twice the standard amount, so I hit 2 times in the recipe and I'm making that amount. For our first step, we are going to take a medium bowl and we're gonna mix a cup of brown sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Already off to a great start because brown sugar and cinnamon make for a great combo. I'm just gonna take my spoon and I'll just mix it together. Now that I'm all done mixing my brown sugar and cinnamon, I'm gonna take out my super ripe plantains. These, as you can see, are really ripe and ugly, but lucky for me, Jolina says in her recipe that the uglier the plantain, the better. There are lots of bruises, which is actually exactly what we want. I have never worked with plantains before, so this is a first. According to the recipe, there is a specific way to cut this, so I'm following those steps. We're gonna cut the ends off first. Then we're gonna cut it in half lengthwise. Then we're going to peel, that's pointy. Then we're going to, I just like touched this like pointy corner of it. I'm fine though. Then we're going to peel this so that the flesh comes out. Ah, so beautiful inside. And then we're gonna take this and cut it in half one more time right down the middle. This is what we should end up with. So I'm gonna do that for all of the plantains. As you can see, I've finished cutting up my 4 plantains and I have my spring roll assembly system laid out. Let me just explain. So these are spring roll wrappers. These are 16, which is perfect for the amount of Turon that I want to make. And since they are so dry, I'm gonna place each one into a bowl of warm water so that it's pliable. Then I'm going to dry it off on this towel and then I can start actually assembling the spring roll. I've never worked with maybe like once or twice I've worked with spring roll wrappers. I've worked with dumpling wrappers, but not spring roll wrappers. Also, the recipe, I think, wanted me to use square spring roll wrappers, but these were the only ones that they had at ShopRite. I didn't have time to go to an Asian supermarket, so this will just have to do. Let me get another plate for this. I've decided that this is how I want the setup to be. So let's give it a shot. I'm gonna take one wrapper and dip it. Again, never done this before, so I'm nervous. Oh, that's nice and pliable. It's all foldy now. Okay, great. Now I'm gonna just dry it off really quick. Woo! I'm just gonna assemble one first and then I'll kind of do the rest. So now that I have this ready, I'm going to bring out my brown sugar cinnamon mix and I'm going to roll part of a plantain around in this. Then I'm gonna place it horizontally on my spring roll wrapper and wrap. I hope I can, yes, I can still pick it up. Okay, nervous. No, wait, okay, we're good. Okay, so bottom, then sides, oh yes, like an envelope, and then roll it up. Then to seal it, I have this cornstarch water mixture. So a 1/4 teaspoon of cornstarch with a 1/4 cup of water and mix it around. Alex said that it's called a cornstarch slurry. Don't know if that's the official term for it. He could just be messing with me. But I'm gonna take a little bit of this. Actually, I'm gonna use a paintbrush. I have a brush! So I'm gonna take a little bit of this, mix it around so that I don't get too much cornstarch. I'm just gonna lightly paint a little bit and then seal it up. Yay! My first one! So cute! Okay, I'm gonna make the other 15 now.
Quick shout out to J-Hope.
I just finished rolling up all of my wraps and it was so easy. I feel like anybody could do this. So I have a total of 16 and I'm ready to fry it. Now in the recipe it says that you can either use a deep fryer or bake them. I'm just going to use like a big saucepan that I have and fill it with 2 cups of vegetable oil. Recipe says canola oil, I'm gonna use vegetable oil. And just like if you saw my churros video, what I did with the churros, I'm just gonna deep fry it in my saucepan. I have my saucepan here on my single burner and I have my vegetable oil here. So I'm going to pour it in and then set my heat to about medium right now. And we want the temperature of the oil to reach 338 degrees Fahrenheit, so I will measure it in a little bit. I also have out this baking sheet with a, oh my gosh, what's it called? A rack, a heating rack, a baking rack? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. A cooling rack. Duh, because when you put things on it, it doesn't heat, it cools. Anyway, I'm going to, once each of these rolls are done frying, I'll carefully place each one on here so that excess oil drips down, and then once all of mine are done cooking, I'm also going to dab each of them with a paper towel.
You're stuck in like 2018 right now.
Our oil has finally heated up to about 338 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm gonna start frying. I have my apron on. I'm kind of nervous that it's gonna splatter everywhere. Cat tries to bake. It's sticking a little. Okay, first one going in. Oh. It's frying all right. Okay, I think I need to fry it a little longer on that side and then I'm gonna flip it. Crispy. Wow! I'm gonna try to also pick it up and get like the sides. Ooh, it's not golden brown, but it does look fried. She's quiet. I'll just leave it in for a little longer to see if it gets more golden brown. But hopefully after this, I'll just feel more comfortable placing 3 or 4 in them at the same time. And here at the same time. Alright, I guess this one's done. On to the next one! I've just finished frying and they look incredible. Full disclosure, 2 of them aren't on here because I dropped one on the floor while trying to transfer it to this cooling rack, and then another one just looked kind of ugly because it opened up. So there are 14 here. I think because a lot of the oil dripped down, I don't really need to pat it down with a paper towel. So I'm just gonna, you know what, actually I'll just pick one first and we'll cut it open and we'll try it. Okay, let's try cutting it open. Some ASMR about to happen. Let's crunch, ready? Oh. I wish you could see Alex's face. Alex, hold that face and just come in front of the camera. It smells really nice. It smells very plantain-y. And the wrapper is so crispy and thin, so let's try it. You wanna come over? I forgot to mention that if you want, you can add ice cream, you can add whipped cream, whatever floats your fancy. Is that the phrase?
Floats your boat.
Then what's the fancy one? Whatever fits your fancy? Whatever. Here you go.
I don't know.
Gambe!
Oh. Oh, this might make my month. I needed this win. Yo, this is so good, bro. The outside is so crispy.
I feel like some of the brown sugar inside like came out while it was frying, so there's not a ton of that right now, but you can always add more stuff to it.
You can still taste the cinnamon though.
I'm gonna make these all the time. And I was saying to Alex, it was so cheap to make because I bought 4 plantains. Each of them were 39 cents. Then for 16 spring roll wrappers, it was like a little over $2. I use Vietnamese spring roll wrappers, so they're clear. And then it wasn't that much brown sugar or cinnamon or oil, cornstarch, like all of it was really cheap. So fun, easy snack if you want to have these at home.
What's the opposite of 失败?
成功.
That was definitely a 成功, an Alex Chang certified 成功.
Is that the noun?
Dude, don't ask me. I failed 3rd grade Chinese school.
That's it for this week's episode of Cat Tries to Bake. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Bye!
Bye.
Yay!
Let's go.